I remember the very first time I put on a dobok and started training in Taekwondo, and I just could hardly wait to get there. And where was there? There was, it was a black belt. Getting a black belt. To me, having that black belt around my waist, I thought I will have arrived. I am there. So I would go to Taekwondo class 3 times a week, hour and a half each class, and I would practice and practice and practice and practice. And at first, nothing made sense. Where your feet are, where your hands are, where you're looking, it was all brand new. It was all a new experience, and it was a little bit confusing. But the more I practiced, the more I went, the more I learned, the more of a habit it became to conduct myself as a martial artist, the more comfortable I got with it. And I learned and I learned and I learned and I learned. Now, it took me 4 years of being really focused, 3 classes a week, hour and a half a class, to take and have my black belt test. And I went and I had my black belt test, passed my black belt test, and it felt so good. It felt so good to have my Grandmaster Copperroot come and put that black belt around my waist and snap it tight like that. And you're hot and you're sweaty and you're bleeding and you've got nothing left. You've got nothing left. But inside you, there's this huge sense of accomplishment, this huge just happiness about you did it. You're there, you've got your black belt, you've put all this work into it, and you just feel so good at having done that. And I remember there was a celebratory dinner to go to later on, and so it was go home, grab a shower, get cleaned up. And as I was doing all of that at home and getting cleaned up for the dinner afterwards, I started to kind of reflect on my whole experience in getting to black belt. And I continued along in martial arts and got, 2nd degree black belt, continued along and absolutely loved what I was doing. But one of many things that I learned in that whole process was that the 4 years I spent, hour and a half at a class, 3 classes a week in, week out, all that did was get me ready to learn. It got me to the point where Grandmaster Copperroot could snap that black belt around my waist and I was a black belt. It gave me the skills and the foundation to actually now learn my martial arts, to learn the art that I was involved in. And I really had to look back and, when at the start of it, it was like, man, when I get that black belt, I am there. I have arrived. I'm a black belt. Having gotten there, having gotten my black belt, and realizing that all I had done was I had learned enough to start really learning my craft. And I realized that there is no end in martial arts. There's no final point. That as we study and as we learn and as we teach and inspire others to follow along behind us, we're always going forward. We're always advancing. We're always improving. Sometimes we trip up. Sometimes we get a little bloody in the process. Sometimes we get a little bruised in the process too. But we're always moving forward. And for me, the beautiful thing about that learning, that lesson, that whole piece is that in life, it's no different than in a martial art. We go to school, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, we're really excited for the most part. We're really excited about going to school, and we're so pumped up about our friends and all of the things that we're learning and the new things that we're doing. But at some point, we go through that and we start thinking like, I can hardly wait to hit grade 12 because or grade 13, depending where you live. And I'm there. I've gotten there, I'm done, I'm at the top. And then perhaps we go into a university education and we have the same thought process about I can hardly wait till I graduate and I get into a job. We get into the job and we continue along and we learn in the job. But at some point, for the majority of us in life, we decide that we're there. That's it. We're finished. We don't need to be learning. There's no more advancement. I'm going to coast. I'm going to enjoy, the fruits of my work, the fruits of my labor. I'm just going to sit back and take it easy. But you know, that's not who we are. That's not how we're built. That's not how we're wired, and that's not what we're here for. We're here to always be growing. We're here to always be moving forward. We're here to always be improving myself or ourselves. And it's something that I do on a really regular basis. So you don't have to avert your eyes here. This is nothing racy here. But one of the many things that I've learned in going through those ranks of black belt, getting this wonderful dobok, and everything that I learned in the process of doing that is, just as this beautiful shirt says, that there really is no there. We're never finished. You only think, you only decide that you're not going any farther, but you stop yourself. Life isn't stopping you. You're just making a decision, or perhaps you've got a habit of just sitting back and not doing anything further, of not going any further. But that's not what you're here for. That's not what life is about. There is no there. As I learned with my martial arts, there is no finished point. You're never, that's as good as it gets, because there's always something new to learn. And it's the same in life. That's never, you're never, that's as good as I get, because there's always something to learn. There's always something to pass on. There's always something to give to others. There's always something to be grateful for. And there's always something to welcome into your life. Now I know that all of that learning for me has been absolutely wonderful. And I can't wait to see what I learn in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. But I'm excited for it because, man, have I built a hell of a foundation to go forward on. And I want to encourage you to check out that foundation you're standing on, because whatever your foundation is, it's there for you. And it is a rock solid foundation. Where do you want to go with this now? What do you want to welcome into your life, and where are you going to go? Because remember, my friends, there really is no there. You're never finished. Not until your last breath. You want to be growing, expanding, being grateful, giving back to other people, and just being a wonderful human being. Now, I know I've added value, and I really look forward to our next conversation. I got to get that dobelt back on. I feel like doing some martial arts. Taekwondo, here we come.